Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, UFO. This is yet another Arch Linux installation video. Why am I doing this video once again? Well, because recently there was an update on Arch Linux. You can view it on the homepage in the news section. And this update replaced the base group with the base meta package. If you don't know what am I talking about, is during the installation guide at some point you use backstrap mnt base, right? But now the base thing isn't a group anymore, it's a meta package, and this meta package has just a bunch of packages. The base package includes just some basic things like bash, glibc, and some other things, but for example a kernel is not included anymore. So this is why on the Arch wiki there is Linux now. But that's not everything, because if you are used to the old installation thing, you might find that some packages are missing. So now you'll have to install them manually. Like dhcpcd will be missing if you don't install it. inet utils also, you have to install it. The man pages also, you have to install it. netctl also got removed. The vi and nano also got removed, so you have to install it. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to install Arch Linux once again, and this will be the new 2019 edition of one of my first decent videos on my channel. So I already made a virtual machine and I called it Arch Linux 2019. And what am I going to do now? I'm going to start the virtual machine, select the ISO, so there it is, the DVD, start the ISO. As you might already have noticed, I'm installing it in UEFI, because what's the point of installing it in legacy in 2019? I don't have an idea. So I started the ISO, I put it in full screen, and I'm going to follow the tutorial with you. So this is the first command that I don't even have to run, because not this is the first command, but I don't even have to run it because I already know that I am in UEFI and we already have the connection. So I'll be starting with time date set ntp true and following with the rest of the installation guide. So let's jump back to the virtual machine and let's start with the tutorial. Time date serial set ntp true. There it is, we have ntp. Now, if you remember correctly, we have to partition our disk. It was very simple, fdisk -l or -l, yeah, call it -l, and we have our disk. In my case is dev bda, in your case will be sda, bda, whatever, or nvme if you have an nvme drive. Let's select our disk, fdisk /dev/bda, M for the help, and I'll be creating a gpt partition, so G, and I'll be creating 3 partitions: my boot partition, my swap partition, and also my root partition. So let's create 3 partitions. N for new partition, enter, enter. The first one will be the boot, so let's go with the recommended or the suggested size on the Arch wiki, so plus 512 megabytes. Then another partition T and not T, N, enter, enter. This will be my swap partition, so plus 4 gigabytes. And last partition next, enter, 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 and the rest of the remaining space. Now let's change the type of the partition. So T, number of the partition. So the first one 1. And what was the number for the UEFI system type? So let's press capital L, enter. Oh, there it is, the list. UEFI system is the first letter, this is the first number, so let's press Q and press 1. So I change the type to UEFI system. there it is. Let's change the type for the other partition. So T, second partition, and what is the number for the Linux swap? Oh, there it is, it's 19, and change the last partition type, so T, 3 and 24, so Linux root x86 24, there it is. Now I can write my partition, so W, enter, there it is. I have my partitions all set and done. What is the next step on the Arch Wiki? Let's switch to the Arch Wiki once again. Oh, we have to format our partitions. There it is. Let's format our partitions. So, we have to create 2 file systems and enable the swap partition. Very easy. The first partition was the boot partition, and it's a UEFI system, so it must be FAT32. So, mkfs, make file system, vfat, dev vda1, my first partition, enter, there it is, all set and done. Now I have to make the swap partition, so make swap mkswap dev vda2, it was my second partition, and I have to enable it, so swap on dev vda2, there it is, easy peasy. Third and the last partition, but also one of the most important, the root partition, mkfs ext for dev vda3, there it is, I have my partitions all set and done. Now we have to mount the root partition to the MNT, if you remember correctly. So mount dev vda3, because my root partition is my third partition on this virtual disk. Your can be different, but mine is vda3, and I have to mount it on MNT. There it is, I created it. Now I also have to create and mount all the all the other partitions. In my case, I only created boot, so I have to create the mount point, the boot mount point. So mkdir mnt boot, and I also have to mount the boot partition on it. So mount dev vda1 mnt boot. There it is. I already created, set and mounted the partition. Let's check on the wiki what else do I need to do. Oh, this was this step, and now I have to do the packstrap thing. So let's check what things I would like to install on my system. Of course I want Linux and Linux firmware. I also want base and base devel because it includes sudo. Let's check the other packages. I also want, let's say, I want dhcpcd, I want inetutils, I also want the man database, the database and man pages, of course. I want netctl and snail. Yeah, snail is pretty nice, and I also install vim. So let's jump to the virtual machine and let's go with a packstrap mnt base devel Linux firmware vim, and I forgot the other packages. The other packages were man-db, man-pages, so man-db, man-pages. What else? Inet utils, netctl. What else? I already forgot them. What else was that? s-nail and dhcpcd. So dhcpcd and s-nail. So dhcpcd and s-nail. Yeah, yeah, s-nail. And let's also install the Intel microcode at this point. And if I remember correctly, it was something like Intel ucode. So I can already, so I will add it to the bootloader settings when I'll be setting systemd boot as bootloader, because I'll be using that. So this is pretty much all the things I want in installation. Your might be different. I like this, so I'll install this. Now I can press enter and just wait for the installation to finish. Okay, Backstrap has finished his thing, so let's continue with the installation process. Let's check the wiki. Sorry for the blinding white color. Let's check the wiki. Oh, we have to generate the FS tab, and then we start with the chroot session. So this is all pretty easy stuff. So let's jump back to our virtual machine and let's generate the FS tab. So gen FS tab -u for UUID mnt, and let's throw this in mnt adc fs tab. Let's check if all is set up correctly. So cat mnt adc fs tab, and yeah, there it is. This is our fs tab and it's correctly set up. So now we can jump in the chroot session. So arch chroot mnt, and we start with all the basic stuff. First of all, the time zone ln ls-sf user share zone info. I'm from Europe, so Europe, and then I'm from Poland, so Warsaw is capital city. ADC local time. There it is. Oh, I'm local zone info Europe Warsaw LN, pardon me, it was LN not LS, LN. Oh, there it is. Now the hardware clock to generate the ATC adjust time. So hardware clock system TOHC. There it is, pretty easy stuff. Now I have to generate my locale, so I'll go into the ATC locale.gen. I'll use Vim, but if you have installed Nano, use Nano. If you have installed any other text editor, use that. I like Vim, so I'll go with Vim. Vim ATC locale.gen. In Poland, we use the US NC layout, so the one they use in the States. So I'll be uncommenting this line en_us. So let's find it, en_us dot utf-8, and let's find it. Oh, there it is. I can uncomment it, save the file. There it is. Now I can generate the locale, so locale.gen. Pretty easy stuff. I can also add the lang variable in the ATC locale.conf. So echo lang equals en_us.utf-8 in ADC locale.conf. Pretty easy stuff. What else do I need? I don't remember. Let's check the wiki. Yeah, the persistent changes in the vConsole. I haven't changed the layout, so I can ignore it. My hostname in the ADC hostname and my hostname in ADC hosts. So let's set this up really quickly. This is very easy stuff. So I can set my hostname. So echo. I don't know, let's call it Arch 2019. Yeah, Arch 2019, and I will echo this in ADC host name. Pretty easy. Now I can edit ADC hosts, so vim ADC hosts. So it will be the local address, local host, then this also local host, then this, and then my hostname, so arch 2019 local domain, and again my hostname. I can save the file, very easy stuff. Then technically, if I remember correctly, the wiki asked me to regenerate the initial RAM file system, but Packstrap has already done this, so I can pretty much ignore this part and I can set my root password and install a bootloader. So let's do this instead. So passwd, let's make a super ultra uber hard password, ASDF. I don't need anything secure because this is a virtual machine. Of course, use a very smart and secure root password on your installation because the root account is the most important one. Now we can install a bootloader. I'll be installing systemd boot, and the best part is that it is already included in systemd, which Arch does use. It uses systemd as init system. So let's check the Arch wiki for it. Bootloader, oh yeah, bootloader section, systemd boot. This is the installation, so bootctl path, and the path is the ESP partition, so it's my boot 1, and then I can set it up with this, and this is the Intel U code I installed before. If you haven't installed the Intel U code, don't add this line yet, add it later when you install the Intel U code or the AMD U code, which is the microcode for your CPU. So this is the installation part, bootctl path boot install. So this is very easy. So bootctl path equals boot, in my case, install. Very easy stuff. Now I can go list the files and go to boot ls cd loader ls, and here I have the loader conf, so vim loader.conf, and the default will be always Arch, so I can delete this word and add Arch, save the file, cd ls cd entries, and I can create a new entry, which I will call, I don't know, arch.conf if it is the most used name, so vim arch.conf, and make the bootloader config. So title Arch Linux, then Linux. I'm using the Linux kernel, not the LTS one, not the Zen one, I'm using Linux. So in my case it will be VM Linux-Linux, in your case also init rd Intel ucode.emg, because I installed the Intel microcode. If you haven't installed it, do it later, or just don't add this line yet because you won't be able to boot and systemd will go into emergency mode and you will have to delete this line if you want to boot. Then init rd initial RAM file system linux.emg, so this is my non-LTS, so the rolling Linux normal kernel, which is the default one in Arch, and then my UUID, so options root equals UUID equals, and now I'll use a very interesting trick which is vim block id. Oh, pardon, it was like what it was, r exclamation block id. Oh, there it is. And my root partition was this, the third one, so I can just copy it really quickly, yes, yank it, paste it, and after this I can add read write, delete the rest. This is pretty much everything already set up. Root equals UUID equals the UUID and read write. I can save, and I installed Arch Linux in 2019, so I can exit the chroot session, reboot, and let's see if I fucked up something, but I don't think so. I'm pretty confident in myself. Triggering events, Oh, there it is, root. Let's see how many packages are by default now in Arch with all the things I installed. So pacman -q, and let's pipe this to word count -l, 148 packages. This is a pretty minimal installation. It's pretty good, pretty good. Let's see how much RAM are we using. 69 megabytes of RAM. What a coincidence. So this is pretty much all for this video. I can power off my virtual machine. I hope this video helped you, because they changed the installation guide and they changed the installation process, so this video is pretty helpful in my opinion. And what else? I hope you have fun using Arch Linux, and have a nice day. We'll see each other in my next video. Bye bye!